What happens when the mind simply stops? Not distracted, not wandering, just blank. Eyes open, awake, perhaps mid task, and yet no thoughts, no inner voice, no awareness of the lapse until it has passed. This phenomenon, known as mind blanking, represents one of the most curious and least understood states of consciousness. Unlike mind wandering, a flow of unanchored but active thoughts, mind blanking is a near total absence of mental content, not forgetting, not a focused silence like meditation, but a spontaneous interruption in conscious thought. Studies show that individuals spend between 5 and 20% of waking hours in this state. Brain imaging during blanking episodes reveals a global synchronization of neural activity, similar to that of slow-wave sleep. Electroencephalograms, EEG, and fMRI scans show reduced complexity of neural signals, constricted pupils, and lowered heart rates, all suggesting a momentary slide into a sleep-like mode while the body remains awake. In a word, the brain enters a local sleep state. This temporary lapse isn't new to the modern brain. Thales of Miletus, the ancient Greek philosopher, according to Plato, was so absorbed in gazing at the stars that he failed to notice the well at his feet, and fell in. His fall is one of the earliest recorded instances of a blanking episode. Well over 2,000 years later, Nathaniel Memory Middleton offered a very different portrait of blanking. In 1788, during the high-pressure trial of Warren Hastings, Middleton's repeated claim, "I do not recollect," became a national punchline. So frequent and conspicuous were his memory gaps that he was lampooned in pamphlets and cartoons. Yet Middleton's failure wasn't willful evasion. It resembled the real-time shutdowns that today's neuroscience attributes to stress-induced blanking. What purpose could mind blanking serve? Researchers increasingly view mind blanking as an adaptive mini-reset. Just as deep sleep helps the brain restore itself, mind blanking may offer micro-restorative benefits, conserving energy, regulating arousal, or flushing neural waste products during periods of strain. Externally, the person may appear dazed with a vacant gaze, flattened facial affect, and a delayed response to stimuli. These behaviors are often misread as boredom, inattentiveness, or indifference. But they may instead reflect a brief withdrawal from external engagement, an involuntary neural pause in the rhythm of wakeful attention. Mind blanking invites us to rethink what it means to be conscious. It reminds us that wakefulness is not a monolith, but a mosaic of fluctuating states, some sharp, some soft, some silent. In a culture that prizes constant attention and productivity, the idea that our brains might need to go blank, if only for a few seconds, is quietly radical. Perhaps moments of mental emptiness are not failures of attention, but whispered reminders that the mind must occasionally rest, slipping briefly into stillness.